What is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and I am back surprisingly quicker than I expected with movie number 82, which is beautiful because that means we're just down to 18 more to get to that 100. This is a movie I honestly have never heard of, and by doing my Tubi farming as I've been known to do, and it sounded interesting, and I figured I would check it out. Horror 101. It's the tagline was something like, students taking a class on fear, but they don't know there might be a serial killer in their mix, something like that. So it sounded like it could be pretty cool. And I watched a little trailer, but they didn't really have the trailer. They just showed like the first, minute of the movie. The one crazier thing to this to me is Bo Derek is in this movie. I never knew Bo Derek was in a horror-esque movie. I kind of thought it was cool. I mean, I don't, Bo Derek has a very lengthy filmography. I think 10 is probably her most famous. My personal favorite Bo Derek movie, though, is Tommy Boy. I know, I'm an easy mark. That was a funny-ass movie. But this movie, she's a teacher, and she has various students in a class, and they tend to hit all the tropes. You have, like, the jock. You have the nerdy kid who's not so nerdy. You have the asshole who's probably a sociopath who they're all, everyone's clearly trying to make you think that's the guy. And for a while, I'm like, I think, fuck, that's the guy. And it was bothering me because that can't be the guy because it's too obvious. And I'm like, okay, the movie's 2001, so 23 years ago. But that wasn't the case. They went with a different ending. What do I think of this movie? It was fine. It was a fine watch. It's not going to get over 5, though, for one very specific reason. If, one, we don't actually see anyone die. And technically, when the movie ends, everybody's still alive. So it's kind of like, the people are still alive, though, who aren't the culprit or culprits, are put in a situation where it's like, okay, they'll clearly die where they are. And then they even made it sound like they were turned into dog food at the end, which it had nothing to do with anything other than the truck that they got rode. Anyway. Here's why this movie doesn't get over 5 for me. And I'm going to go, I think I'm going to scale it back to a 4 entirely. I'm not going to go like point anything. Because in this movie, and spoiler alert, if this movie sounds like something you want to see, please stop watching this video now. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. The thing that made this movie, to me, not worthy of saying a 5 is the two people who are the killers. They kind of just spell it out too. So that was, even though they were pushing the one guy, they definitely made it like, oh, it's him, he's working with this one, and it wasn't him working with it, it was someone else. But the problem is, they showed us a scene between these two characters who turned out to be the bad people. And again, I'm trying to be vague a little bit. I said spoilers, I'm not going to say who it is. But they showed them talking in a way, talking about something alone that they wouldn't be talking about if they were the killers. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, make sure class tonight, please get there on time. If you get there on time, I won't give you a bad grade. Like, all this shit. I guess I kind of just gave you a little information on how it might be. But anyway, it's like, they wouldn't have that scene. If you want to have a twist, I love twists. Give me a good twist. But don't lie, have the show interactions that false. Unless it's around other characters, that's different. If they're a bunch of them together, yeah, I get it, you have to lie. But when they're together, alone, and no one is around, then there should be no reason to pretend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just didn't make sense. So it's like, they tried to throw you off, which is okay, I suppose, but they tried to throw you off, but they didn't really throw you off, they just lied. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like, if you're watching a show, and you try and figure out who the killer is, and then the person who is the killer, and assuming this isn't like Scream, where there's multiple, if there's one killer, and they show you the person who's not the killer, and they show you him doing something at the exact same moment as the person who is doing the killing, and so, okay, can't be them, they were in the room with everybody else, and at the end they're like, oh no, I was the killer, and then just ignoring that fact, that's kind of what happened here. So, I will say watch it, but I still give it a 4, meaning I won't watch it again. But you know what, Bo Derek, it was interesting. I like seeing stuff set in a college. Me being a college professor, sometimes it's interesting. Not that interesting. I will say, if you want a good slasher on a college campus. I highly, highly recommend Splatter University. But anyway, folks, that's number 82. This is the only one I'm filming today, so I don't know when 83 will be up, but we are getting there. So till next time, folks, peace.